Alrighty guys, heading to Chicago for iLandscape tomorrow morning. Yay! Well, good morning. We are waking up in Chicago this morning. I'm wrapping up my cables and stuff, getting my laptop to head down to the speakers room where I'm doing my session. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing a session on estimating and budgeting, 2 different sessions. All right, we got everything set up here. Got the clicker working, video's working. Let's do this.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome Weston. Weston grew up in the green industry with boots on the ground experience and working in a successful landscape business in central Pennsylvania. He led the team to the Aquascape Artist of the Year Award in 2017, and currently he founded SynkedUP. So everybody give a hand and welcome Weston Zimmerman.
Thank you. What's up, guys? Just wrapped up my 2 talks in this room. They were packed. They were turning away people, and it was really good. The more I do this, the more I love it. It's fun to engage with folks and answer questions, be challenged, find solutions, and watch the sparks go up in their eyes when they understand something they've been struggling with, and ultimately know their numbers, which is only a stepping stone to be more profitable, so you can provide the life that you want for not only yourself, but also your team and your family. Okay, the session is done. I'm gonna go out and enjoy the show for the rest of the day and maybe take a nap. Wow, this show is glitzy. Man, I gotta admit, it's kind of nice walking the trade show floor like an attendee. It feels relaxing. This is a beautiful place. I'm impressed with this show as well. It was really, really well organized. The app they use to show all the educational sessions and all of that is awesome. Like, you can do polls and you can ask the speakers questions, and yeah, I'm impressed. I'll have to come back here. I ran into a number of different SynkedUP users. It's good to catch up with them, shake their hands, meet their teams. A lot of them had their guides with them, so that's fun. I'm gonna go up, get my laptop, and sign somebody up, and then come back down and enjoy the rest of the evening. Good evening, everybody. I am here in Chicago. Just wrapped up my day speaking at iLandscape. Beautiful view out my window. I'm going to continue my series on what to do in the off season. So far, I've talked about like getting your budget built, getting your jobs in the system and on the schedule, training your team, making sure that you have a good like job folder process for your team, whether out in the field. Today, I'm gonna be covering templates and production rates. Like, if I were you and I had my budget built, all my jobs are in the system and on the schedule, I've got a good plan for my digital job folder or my paper job folder if that's what you're using, and I know exactly what I'm putting in for every single job. Then the next thing that my mind goes to is to what else could I use to prep and get better in the winter, in the off season. It's templates and production rates, man. Like, so what does a template consist of? At its most basic level, a template is just, say you do patios all the time. So you build a template for patio work that includes all of your pavers and stone and labor and joint sand and edge restraint and all of that. And at its most basic form, it's just a checklist of all the items you use in that type of work, so that if you're hurrying and you're putting an estimate together, you don't forget something. If you take it one step further, you can also build pre-canned descriptions, like to go along with the template, like customer proposal facing descriptions, internal work area notes and descriptions, and checklists of equipment and tools that they need. So that way you're not like, oh yeah, every time we do this type of work, we have to remember to take this piece of equipment along. Like, just put that right into your internal work areas notes. So your template now has a checklist of all the materials and labor that you need, as well as all the descriptions and the internal work area notes for your team, so that when you're sitting down late at night trying to get a quote out the door and your well of inspiration of getting a nice sounding paragraph description of the work to be done is running dry, well, you've done that work already, and you can just like, bam, put it in and maybe tweak it a little bit and send it off. And then if you want to become a template using powerhouse, start using production rates. So now you got a checklist, descriptions, and production rates. And what a production rate is like, okay, let's say that you manually calculate how much stone base you need on a patio every time. You're plugging it into the calculator, square foot, 6 inches thick. You're doing that math manually every single time. A production rate is like building a formula so that you just plug in your measurement or your square footage and it produces the quantity for you. So you don't have to run the calculator every single time. So let's say instead of me doing cubic dimensions times the weight per cubic meter or cubic yard, it's just done. Like you figure out that formula once. I build the formula to say, hey, 1 ton of stone will cover 40 square feet. From then on, in my production rate, I just plug in 800 square feet. Bam, it tells me exactly how much stone I need. I can also do that for labor. I track how much labor it takes, and then I divide that by the square footage, and I can track that, it takes me 3.4 man hours, or I can do 3.4 square feet per 1 man hour of production time from breaking ground to cleaning up. That's what a production rate is. And that, if you do that, I'm telling you, you will buy back so much of your time in building quotes. Side story, guy that started using SynkedUP went off of spreadsheets. I was talking to him a few weeks after he signed up, and he did a quarter $250,000 bid, and he said in his old way of doing it, it would take him 2 or 3 days to pull that bid together. He did a lot of work in building templates and production rates in his new SynkedUP account, and he pulled that bid together in 15 minutes. That is the power of using templates and production rates without making yourself redo that same work, those same calculations over and over and over again for every single estimate that you ever do. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why would you want to do that? Why would you want to put all this work into building templates and production rates? Isn't everything custom? Isn't everything different? Yeah, sure. But it's about getting 80% of the way there, and then you tweak things and send it off. It's not so you can nerd out about templates and production rates and say, oh yeah, I got everything templatized out. It's so that you can reduce your turnaround time to get a quote out the door. What's going to help you win more jobs? Be the cheapest or be the easiest to do business with? What's the biggest complaint that you hear from homeowners? I can't get anybody to call me back. I can't get anybody to give me a quote. So guess what? When you become the contractor that is most efficient at achieving their vision, turning around a quote for them to review and approve, guess who's going to win that job? You are. I can tell you story after story of a homeowner that selected not the cheapest bid, but the one that looked the most professional, was responsive, and gave them the best client experience. In my opinion, you should try to set yourself apart in that arena as opposed to being the cheapest. If you're competing on price, it's a race on who can go out of business first, because there's too many contractors out there that don't know their numbers. Another huge benefit is just the sheer amount of time saved. Who doesn't want to eat dinner with their family more often? And when things get crazy in the busy season, imagine if you could get a quote back out to a client the same day or the same week instead of 3 weeks later. Probably the most long-lasting impact or result, up-leveling, that comes from using templates and production rates is the fact that when you are building templates and production rates, you're pulling information out of your head and putting it into a system and process. And when you do that, you remove yourself as the bottleneck in your company. I know a guy that literally doesn't build estimates anymore in his own company. He did templates and production rates for all the work that they do, and he has his office manager produce all the quotes for the leads that come in. And then of course he reviews it, tweaks it, and then sends it out. That's the power of using templates and production rates, because if you don't do this work, you will continue to be the bottleneck in your organization, and you will continue to not be able to leave. And you will continue to have people that don't seem to step up to the plate and take responsibility. Why? Because you're clutching that responsibility close to your chest and you're not letting it go. Templates and production rates will set you free and prevent you from being the bottleneck in your organization. They'll save you time and they'll win you more jobs. I don't know what more reasons you'd want to be able to do them. If you're wondering, well, like, how do I get started, or how do I build a production rate? I haven't ever even done this. I have a whole article written up on exactly how to do it that I'll link below in the video description here that you can check out. I even have a free spreadsheet you can download and build your own production rates. If you're using SynkedUP, just go in there and start simple. Start with one. Take the thing that you do the most often, it's the easiest to build a template for, and just build a template. And once you do it, it's like unlocking, it's like the dam breaks. It's like, man, I got to do a template for everything now once you see how awesome it is. So that's what I have for you today. I'd love to hear more from more of you as to whether you're using templates or not yet. And if you have, what's been the impact for you? I'd love to hear. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you following along. Hit the like button on this video, comment below, make all the algorithms happy. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, hit the follow, hit everything. And we'll see you on the next one.